Listen, my dear one. The clock is whispering to you. Each tick carries a message, a quiet truth you have ignored too long. It says start, it says move, it says rise before the year changes your story for you. The world waits for no one who sleeps on their purpose. The days pass whether you act or not. The only question left is, will you be ready when your name is called by destiny? Will you be prepared when the moment arrives that could have belonged to you, but you were not yet who you needed to be? There is power in the word listen. It is not simply the hearing of sound, it is the hearing of life. Listen to the wind that shakes your windows at night. It is not a storm, it is the voice of time saying, wake up, beloved, you are running out of excuses. Listen to the silence after disappointment. It teaches you more than applause ever could. Listen to your own breath rising and falling like the waves of possibility. For every breath is a reminder that you still have time, but not forever. The year 2026 will come like the sunrise, slow, certain, magnificent, and unbothered by your preparation. The question is, when it arrives, will you still be standing in the same place, whispering to yourself the same tired story of someday? Or will you stand tall, renewed, stronger, wiser, and ready to meet the new dawn with eyes that have seen the truth of who you are becoming? The choice is always yours. And the choice must be made now. Start before 2026 because your spirit has been whispering dreams into your bones, and it is tired of being ignored. You have said, I will begin when I feel ready. But readiness is a myth. There is no perfect hour, no divine signal from the sky that says go. You must create your own permission slip. You must declare yourself worthy before the world agrees. Every transformation begins in secret, in the unseen hours when nobody claps for you, when your voice trembles, when you still doubt your own reflection. That is where greatness begins, in the quiet courage to start anyway. You have wasted too many nights replaying your failures, comparing your wounds to others' victories. Stop that. Comparison is a thief that robs you in daylight. It tells you that you are not enough, that your story is too small, your voice too quiet, your dreams too late. But let me tell you, no voice is too quiet when it carries truth. No dream is too late when it comes from the soul. You must begin again, and you must begin now, not when you have the perfect plan, not when you have the approval of others. Now, when your heart still aches for change, the world outside is trembling with possibility. Even the trees lean toward growth. Even the rivers refuse to flow backward. You too are part of this rhythm. To stay still while the world moves is to deny your own nature. You were not made to remain the same. You were made to evolve. You were made to shed your old skin, to outgrow your old fears, to rise from the ashes of hesitation. Each sunrise is a whisper. Begin again. Each sunset asks, did you try today? And when you answer with silence, the night sighs in disappointment, because it knows what you could be before 2026 comes. Become a better listener to yourself, to life, to truth. Hear what your soul has been begging you to admit, that you are capable of more, that you are deserving of joy, that your story is not over yet. Every scar on your heart is a map that leads to wisdom. Every tear has watered the soil of your rebirth. Stop apologizing for being in progress. Stop waiting for permission to evolve. The universe does not require perfection. It requires participation. Listen closely to the lessons of your past. Every mistake was a teacher, every heartbreak a doorway. You have survived storms that others could not imagine. You have carried pain in your chest and still managed to smile. You have walked through darkness and still chosen to seek light. That means there is greatness already living inside you. It only waits for your command. Tell it to rise. Tell it to stretch. Tell it that you will no longer shrink for the comfort of others. Tell it that the time is now. You are not meant to live a half-lived life. You are not meant to chase approval or beg for belonging. You are meant to stand in your truth even when it trembles. You are meant to speak with the kind of honesty that shakes fear from its throne. You are meant to be bold, and boldness does not wait for the new year. It begins when you do before 2026, forgive yourself for what you did not know. You did your best with the wisdom you had then, but now you know better. And when you know better, you must do better. You must stop betraying yourself by staying silent in rooms that shrink your soul. You must stop accepting love that requires your silence. You must stop calling pain patience. You must stop confusing comfort with peace. Growth hurts, but so does staying the same. Listen, the world is whispering your name differently now. It no longer calls you by your wounds, it calls you by your potential. Can you hear it? It says, rise, beloved, you have been sleeping too long in your own doubt. You do not need the world to believe in you. You need to believe in the world within you. That is where your beginning lives. That is where your strength has been waiting, patient and powerful. When you wake tomorrow, do not reach for your phone first. Reach for gratitude. Whisper to yourself, I am still here, and that means I am not finished. Then rise, stretch your soul, write your plan, even if it's messy. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Take one small step, even if no one sees it. Each act of courage builds a bridge to the person you are becoming. And one day, before 2026 arrives, you will look back and thank yourself for starting before you felt ready. The greatest tragedy is not failure, it is hesitation. So many dreams die in the waiting room of someday. But you are not meant to live in waiting rooms. You are meant to walk through doors. You are meant to break cycles. You are meant to rise higher than your fears, louder than your critics, stronger than your past. Every breath you take is a chance to rewrite the story. Listen to the truth beneath your excuses. You say you don't have time, but you have time for everything that doesn't feed your purpose. You say you don't have resources, but you have creativity, resilience, and the ability to begin small. You say you don't have support, but the universe supports those who dare to act. Every dream begins in solitude, and every creator was once alone with a vision no one else could see. So start alone if you must, but start. You have waited for a sign. This is your sign. The words you are hearing are the knock on the door of your destiny. Do not wait for 2026 to decide that you are worthy of your potential. Become the person now who deserves the blessings you pray for later. The universe does not give crowns to those who have not yet learned to carry responsibility. So prepare your spirit, strengthen your mind, clean your heart. You cannot pour gold into a cracked vessel. Listen, my dear, the clock is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It reminds you that life is fleeting, that every delay steals from your tomorrow. You say you are afraid to start, but fear will always be the first to greet you when you begin. It's not there to stop you. It's there to test your resolve. Walk past it. Smile at it. Say, I see you, but you do not rule me. For courage is not the absence of fear. It is the mastery of it. Start before 2026, because every year you delay, you bury your gifts under another layer of doubt. You are not waiting for the right time. You are hiding from your own greatness. But greatness will not chase you forever. It will move on to those who dare to claim it. So claim it now. Speak life into your name. Speak power into your story. Speak healing into your wounds. Say aloud, I am becoming. For when you declare it, the universe rearranges itself to meet your faith. You have always had everything you needed. You just forgot where you placed it. It's in your persistence. It's in your kindness. It's in the way you rise after falling, in the way you keep believing even when the world grows dark. That light inside you has never gone out. It only needed your attention. Turn toward it again. Feed it with purpose. Let it burn so bright that 2026 looks small compared to the fire you become. When people doubt you, let them. Their disbelief is not your burden. You are not here to convince the blind to see. You are here to build, to grow, to heal, to shine. Every visionary was mocked before they were celebrated. Every strong soul was doubted before they were honored. You will be misunderstood. That is the cost of transformation. But one day your light will be undeniable. There will be days when progress feels invisible, when your effort seems unrewarded. But remember, Seeds do not grow the moment they are planted. They grow in silence, in darkness, in patience. So when your growth feels unseen, whisper to yourself, I am still becoming. The roots are forming, the strength is building, the storm that once frightened you is now watering your soil. Before 2026, make peace with your past. Let go of the people who only remember the weaker version of you. You do not owe them explanations for your healing. You do not owe anyone the old version of yourself. Those who cannot celebrate your evolution are not meant to walk beside you into your future. Release them gently, with gratitude for the lesson. You cannot hold on to both pain and progress. Choose progress. Listen to your intuition. It has always been right. It knows when to stay silent and when to roar. It knows when a season has ended, even before your mind admits it. Trust that voice. It is your oldest truth, the one inside. You knows where you belong, what you are capable of, and what you must do. Honor it before 2026 arrives, for it will not stay quiet forever. You may think you have time. You may think another year will come and fix everything, but time is a mirror. It only reflects what you bring to it. Bring strength, bring discipline, bring tenderness for yourself, bring purpose that cannot be shaken. Every sunrise between now and 2026 is an invitation to rewrite your life. Don't waste it in hesitation. Rise each morning with gratitude. Speak to your reflection with respect. Feed your body with care and your mind with wisdom. Protect your peace as though it were treasure, because it is. Do not let small minds talk you out of big dreams. Do not let fear disguise itself as practicality. Be bold enough to be misunderstood for your growth. Be gentle enough to forgive yourself when you falter. Listen, start before 2026 to make yourself better. Not for applause, not for validation, but because your spirit deserves the chance to see what it can become. Better is not about being richer or louder. It is about being truer, freer, kinder, stronger. It is about waking up proud of how you carry your soul. It is about sleeping peacefully, knowing you honored your purpose today. So rise, write the book, learn the craft, heal the wound, take the walk, say the prayer, forgive the past, begin the thing you have delayed for too long. Let your future self look back at you with gratitude, not regret. The time is not tomorrow, it is now. The year is not the promise. You are... Listen, the wind is whispering again. It says, you have waited long enough. It says, start before 2026. It says, the world is waiting for your light. The clock is not your enemy. It is your reminder that growth cannot wait. Too many people fear the passage of time, as if it were a thief stealing their youth, their dreams, their opportunities. But time is not against you. It is your most honest teacher. It tells you gently or sternly that every second is a seed, and what you plant in those seconds will grow into the story you live tomorrow. When the hands of the clock move, they are not pushing you toward your end, they are guiding you toward your evolution. Each tick is a chance to begin again, to rise, to breathe, to step closer to the person you wish to become. The clock reminds you that delay is not rest, it is surrender. It tells you that your hesitation will never slow the sun, that your fear cannot freeze the calendar. The seasons will change whether you act or not. But what those seasons make of you depends on what you choose to do now. Growth does not come to those who wait for perfect conditions. Growth comes to those who move despite imperfection. The world keeps turning, and with each turn it asks you a question. Will you turn with me, or will you stay behind? The clock's rhythm is the pulse of your own becoming. When you feel like time is running out, it is not punishment. It is a wake-up call. It is the universe reminding you that potential expires when neglected. There are dreams inside you that cannot live forever in the dark. There are words inside you that the world needs to hear before silence claims them. There are chances that will not wait for your confidence to mature. The clock ticks not to threaten you, but to remind you that this moment, this breath is your opportunity. Every morning you wake is time offering you mercy. Says here, take another chance to do better than yesterday. Time is patient, but not infinite. It will give you the opportunity to try again, but it will not stand still while you hesitate. The clock is loyal to truth. It never lies. It tells you that growth requires urgency, that dreams require discipline, that waiting too long turns potential into regret. The whisper of each second passing is not cruel, it is compassionate. It pushes you because it knows you are capable of more. It calls you to act because it knows your greatness cannot bloom in procrastination. The clock is not your opponent in this journey. It is your silent coach. It stands beside you, reminding you that every delay is a decision, every hour a choice. You can use it to build or to waste, to rise or to remain. When you stop fearing time, you begin to respect it. When you respect it, you align yourself with its flow, and in that rhythm, you find power. The clock is not racing you, it is inviting you. It is saying, grow now, not later. Begin now, not someday. Readiness is a myth. You become ready only when you begin. People wait for the perfect moment, believing that clarity will strike like lightning, that courage will arrive like morning light. But life does not work that way. You do not stumble upon readiness. You create it through motion, through risk, through persistence. The idea that you must feel completely prepared before you act is the lie that keeps dreams buried and voices silent. Growth has never required certainty. It has only ever asked for willingness. When you take the first step, trembling though it may be, the universe takes notice. It rearranges itself around your courage. It opens paths that were invisible when you stood still, because movement itself awakens guidance. The truth is, readiness is revealed through doing. When a seed pushes through the soil, it does not wait for the rain to promise its sunlight. It rises because rising is what it was born to do. You too were not made to wait for assurance before you evolve. You were made to start even when you are unsure. Every great creator, every strong spirit began before they were ready. They stumbled, they learned, they adjusted, and in that process they became prepared. Readiness is not a requirement, it is a result. The act of beginning shapes your confidence, refines your purpose, and builds the strength you thought you needed first. You will never feel completely ready, because readiness is not an emotion. It is a decision. It is the choice to trust yourself enough to begin. Waiting for certainty is a way to protect yourself from disappointment, but it also protects you from success. The mind tells you to wait for a sign, but the heart whispers that the sign is already within you. The only way to quiet fear is to act through it. The moment you start, the energy shifts. What seemed impossible begins to take shape under your hands. The fog of doubt lifts as you move forward, revealing what was hidden beyond hesitation. You do not grow by planning, you grow by doing. So many people keep their dreams locked behind the door of someday. They tell themselves they need more time, more knowledge, more confidence. But all they truly need is the courage to begin. The path reveals itself step by step. You do not need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. You do not need to have the map when you already have the destination inside your spirit. The act of starting is the spark that ignites everything else. Once you begin, you discover that the world is not as unforgiving as you imagined. You learn, you adapt, you rise, and in that process you realize that readiness was never the starting point. It was the reward that waited at the end of your first brave step. Forgiveness of your past is the first step toward your future. You cannot build a new life while holding the broken pieces of an old one. The weight of regret will always slow the pace of your progress, and the pain of memory will chain you to moments that no longer exist. To move forward, you must first release the ghosts that whisper you are unworthy of better days. Forgiveness is not saying what happened was right. It is saying that you will no longer let it rule your tomorrow. It is choosing to free yourself from the prison of blame. Every scar, every failure, every disappointment has already taken enough from you. To continue carrying them is to let them win twice. The first time they hurt you. The second time, you keep the hurt alive by refusing to let go. When you forgive your past, you reclaim your power. You begin to see that those mistakes were not anchors but teachers. Every wrong turn guided you closer to wisdom. Every heartbreak revealed your capacity to heal. Every loss taught you the meaning of gratitude. You do not erase the past by forgiving it. You transform it. You take its pain and turn it into purpose. You take its weight and mold it into strength. The act of forgiveness is an act of liberation. It opens space for new energy, new hope, new beginnings to enter your life. You cannot walk through the door of your future if your hands are still gripping the handle of yesterday. Forgiveness does not come easily because the ego wants justice. It wants acknowledgement, apology, closure. But sometimes those things never come, and waiting for them is another form of bondage. You cannot depend on others to set you free. That freedom must come from within. The power to release lies in your decision, not in their remorse. Forgive them because you deserve peace. Forgive yourself because you deserve growth. You did the best you could with the understanding you had then. Now you know more, and knowing more means you can live differently. The act of self-forgiveness is not weakness, it is maturity. It means you have chosen healing over punishment, love over shame. The past will always knock, but you do not have to answer. You can acknowledge it, learn from it, and then let it rest. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is remembering without bitterness. It is walking through your old pain and seeing it as proof that you survived. The person you once were carried you to this moment, and for that alone they deserve compassion. When you forgive, you stop fighting your own history. You stop replaying old wounds and start composing new music. You step out of the shadow and into the light of becoming. Forgiveness is how you make space for your future self to breathe, to rise, to exist without the burden of yesterday's sorrow. It is the quiet courage that begins the journey of becoming whole. The universe supports those who act with courage, not hesitation. Life moves in the direction of energy, and courage is the energy that commands momentum. When you act with fear but move anyway, the universe takes notice. It rearranges paths, introduces people, and opens unseen doors because it recognizes action as faith. The moment you choose to step forward despite trembling hands and an uncertain heart, you align yourself with possibility. The world does not respond to hesitation. It responds to conviction. Every force of nature moves with certainty. The rivers do not ask permission to flow. The wind does not wait for approval to blow, and the sun does not seek validation before rising. When you act with courage, you join that rhythm of creation that never doubts itself. Hesitation is the thief of divine timing. It keeps you standing at the edge of opportunity, watching it pass while convincing yourself you're not ready. The universe cannot deliver to a closed hand. It cannot bless a spirit that refuses to move. Every dream waits for the sound of your footsteps before it starts to unfold. Action is a language. The universe understands more clearly than words or wishes. You may pray, plan, or promise yourself change. But until you take that first leap, nothing shifts. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something greater than fear deserves your effort. The moment you move, the current carries you farther than you imagined, because momentum itself is a sacred law. When you hesitate, you send a message that you do not yet trust your own power. But when you act, even in uncertainty, you declare to the universe that you believe in your ability to create. The world mirrors back the energy you give it. If you offer doubt, it gives you confusion. If you offer fear, it gives you limitation. But when you offer courage, it gives you expansion. Everything you desire lives on the other side of a step you have not yet taken. The longer you wait, the dimmer the path becomes. The moment you move, the light returns, and what once seemed impossible begins to make sense in motion. The act of courage is the unlocking of potential. The universe favors those who do not wait for permission to become who they are meant to be. It favors those who speak, build, try, fail, and rise again. Each time you act, even imperfectly, you tell the universe, I am ready to participate in my destiny. And it listens, it responds with opportunity, alignment, and grace. Courage attracts favor because it proves that your faith is not just spoken but lived. The universe bends toward the brave, for the brave are the ones who move its story forward. The world belongs not to those who stand in hesitation, but to those who walk in conviction even when their knees shake. Comparison silences purpose. Authenticity awakens it. When you measure your worth against another's reflection, you turn away from your own light. Comparison is a thief that does not take your possessions. It takes your peace, your confidence, and your clarity. It whispers that you are behind, that your progress is too slow, that your gifts are too small, but your journey was never meant to match anyone else's rhythm. The universe did not create you to duplicate another person's design. You were shaped with your own rhythm, your own frequency, your own story. When you live by comparison, you mute that sacred song and begin to dance to music that was never meant for you. Purpose cannot live in imitation. It breathes only in authenticity. The moment you begin to compare, you shift your focus from growth to judgment. You start to chase what others have instead of nurturing what you were given. You look at someone else's chapter 20 while forgetting that you are still writing chapter 2, and you call yourself a failure. But life does not unfold on the same timeline for every soul. Flowers bloom in different seasons, yet none of them doubt their beauty. The oak does not envy the willow. The river does not wish to be the sea. Everything in nature thrives by being true to its essence. You too must return to yours. Comparison convinces you that you are not enough, but authenticity reminds you that you already are. When you turn inward and honor your truth, you begin to hear the quiet voice that knows exactly who you are meant to be. That voice may have been buried under noise, under doubt, under the weight of expectation, but it has never stopped speaking. It waits for your attention, for your belief, for your courage to listen. The moment you choose authenticity, your purpose begins to breathe again. You start to build from honesty instead of fear, from creativity instead of competition. Authenticity is freedom. It releases you from the need to prove, to impress, to outperform. It allows you to live in alignment with your values and move at the pace of your own becoming. When you are true to yourself, you attract what is meant for you effortlessly because you are no longer pretending to be someone else. The energy of authenticity is magnetic. It draws opportunities that match your truth. The more you step into who you are, the quieter comparison becomes. Its voice loses power when your own becomes stronger. Purpose is not found in the reflection of others, but in the mirror of your soul. To live with purpose, you must silence the noise of comparison and honor the whisper of your own calling. No one else can walk your path, carry your lessons, or express your gifts in the way you can. The world does not need another version of someone else. It needs the fullest version of you. Authenticity is not a destination. It is a daily act of choosing yourself over imitation. Every sunrise before 2026 is an invitation to transform yourself. The light that spills across your window each morning is not just a signal that another day has begun. It is a reminder that you still have time to become who you were meant to be. Each dawn whispers that you are being given another opportunity to start again, to correct what was left undone, to release what weighs you down, and to walk closer toward the truth of your purpose. The sun rises for everyone, but not everyone rises with it. Some sleep through their calling, waiting for miracles to find them, while others wake with intention, understanding that each new morning is a doorway, not a delay. You cannot stand still and expect the world to shift for you. The invitation is clear: rise, move, evolve. Transformation is not something that happens overnight. It is a process that unfolds with every choice you make. Every thought, every habit, every decision shapes the person you are becoming. If you want to meet a stronger, wiser version of yourself before 2026, you must begin with what you do today. The future is not built in grand gestures. It is built in the quiet moments of discipline and awareness. Each sunrise asks you, what will you do with the time I give you? Will you spend it remembering what broke you, or will you spend it building what heals you? Change begins with the smallest movements. Waking up earlier, speaking kinder words to yourself, choosing silence over reaction, walking toward your goals even when no one claps. Transformation is not loud, it is steady. It grows in the background, in the hidden corners of persistence. And when you honor each sunrise by showing up for yourself, even in the smallest way, you send a message to the universe that you are ready for more. Readiness is proven not by what you say you will do, but by what you do when no one is watching. The morning holds magic for those who know how to use it. It gives clarity to the mind and courage to the heart. When you rise with the sun, you rise with intention. And intention is what transforms life from ordinary to meaningful. To transform yourself, you must first face yourself. The person you are becoming is buried beneath layers of fear, doubt, and routine. Each day you live in patterns that no longer serve you. You make it harder to reach your potential. But the sunrise does not care how many times you have failed before. It still arrives. It still brings light to your darkness. That is grace. Every morning is mercy in motion, telling you that yesterday's mistakes do not define you. You can start again. You can speak differently to your soul. You can choose to believe in what you once doubted. Transformation is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you are beneath everything that told you to be less. The invitation to transform is not easy to accept because transformation requires honesty. It asks you to confront your own reflection without the mask of excuses. It demands that you stop blaming time, people, or luck for the life you refuse to change. The truth is, every sunrise gives you the same 24 hours as the next person, but what you do with those hours is what separates growth from stagnation. The universe does not favor the gifted. It favors the disciplined. It rewards those who respond to the invitation with action. You are not waiting for 2026 to make you better. 2026 is waiting to meet the version of you who decided to start now. To honor the sunrise is to commit to growth even when no one sees it. It is waking up with gratitude and discipline. It is forgiving yourself for the days you wasted and choosing to do better today. It is learning something new, showing kindness where there was once impatience, and finding strength where there was once fear. The path of transformation is often lonely, because not everyone will understand your need to evolve. They will tell you that you have changed as if it were an accusation. But change is proof that you are alive. The ones who fear transformation are the ones who have stopped growing. Do not let their comfort zone become your cage. The sunrise also teaches patience. The sun does not rush to appear. It rises slowly, gently, painting the sky in colors of transition. Transformation works the same way. It happens gradually, beautifully, and in silence. You do not have to have it all figured out. You only have to begin. Every morning that you wake with purpose adds another layer to your becoming. Each sunrise before 2026 is a brushstroke on the canvas of your evolution. Some days will be bright, and others will be covered in clouds. But even when you cannot see the sun, it is still rising, still working, still moving. Trust that your growth is the same. There will be mornings when you feel heavy, when you wonder if all your effort matters. There will be times when you look in the mirror and see no progress, when the change you crave still feels far away. But those are the moments that test your spirit. The sunrise does not skip a day. Just because the world is weary, it shows up regardless. You must do the same. Show up for your goals even when motivation fades. Show up for your healing even when progress is slow. Show up for yourself even when the world is silent. Transformation happens in the showing up, not in the waiting. You cannot control what life brings, but you can control how you greet it each day. Some mornings will come with peace, others with storms, but both are necessary for your growth. The gentle mornings teach gratitude. The difficult ones teach strength. Together, they shape the balance you need to move forward. Every sunrise before 2026 gives you another lesson. If you're willing to see it, it teaches you to start small, to keep going, to let go of what doesn't belong in your next chapter. It reminds you that progress is not perfection, it is persistence. The invitation to transform is written in light, and every time you ignore it, the day still goes on, but it goes on without your full participation. Transformation cannot be passive. It requires effort, presence, and belief. You must decide that your future is worth the discomfort of change. You must be willing to outgrow old stories that kept you safe but small. Each sunrise calls you toward expansion, and when you resist that call, you live half alive. But when you answer, when you rise with purpose, you awaken parts of yourself that were waiting for your courage. Before 2026 arrives, let every morning become a promise you make to yourself, to do a little better, to love a little deeper, to move a little closer to your truth. The journey of transformation is not about speed, it is about direction. Every act of discipline, every moment of awareness, every decision to try again builds a foundation that cannot be shaken. The sunrise will come again tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that, offering the same invitation. Rise and become. The only question that remains is whether you will answer.